But the Parah Adumah, we get a very detailed description of every process, every step of the process of preparing the ashes of the red heifer. First, locating a red heifer that's kosher, that's fit to produce the ashes, and then producing the ashes and applying the ashes. And it's very, very much in detail. And let's read the first few verses in Hebrew, then in English. Chapter 9. The ashes prepared in history, first time by Moshe in the wilderness, Moshe, Aaron, Elazar, and other Kohanim. And that was the first red heifer. Of course, the last time any ashes were produced was during the Second Temple period. And why so few red heifers? The ashes are used to purify people who are coming on the pilgrimages to the Holy Temple and need to enter into the temple courtyards, the inner courtyards with their offerings. And so they need to be purified of the impurification. As you know, the Temple Institute is very, very involved now for many years in trying to create ashes of the red heifer. And I know that some people are already, getting impatient and they're a bit frustrated and, maybe we're not serious. What's the matter? How difficult can it be? Valid. All those thoughts, all those feelings are valid, but it's not because we're not making every effort, and it's certainly not because we're not serious. We're very serious about it, and it's a very serious matter. There's a lot of halacha, a lot of rules and regulations which apply to it, which we have rabbis in the Temple Institute have mastered the entire subject and know exactly what we're working with and what we're trying to achieve and how to achieve it. So like I started to say, I understand that people, want progress on this. They want to know. It's a big thing, and it's a huge step toward the renewal of the service in the Holy Temple. I must add that if we were to rebuild the Holy Temple or rebuild the altar, which is the first step that needs to be done to perform offerings, if we were to do that next week, this is the first step that needs to be done to perform offerings. If we were to do that next week, heifer, because at a time when it's impossible without the red heifer to be purified, there are certain things that you can do. So it's not completely holding things up, but of course, if we were able to achieve the ashes in the near future, then of course it would certainly expedite things greatly. Now, one reason why we keep so quiet about the progress is that there's a lot of opposition to the ashes of the red heifer. There's opposition, unfortunately, within the Jewish community here in Israel. Not everybody is excited about it. Some people, especially some secular people, are very much intimidated by it. They're intimidated by the idea of the temple, of offerings. They think that it's just going to create trouble and disaster. And so when they hear of progress, there's a big hue and a cry, and sometimes even measures taken to try to stop us. But I know that among the Christian world, there are many people who are very excited about it and impatient and want it to happen. Among the radical Islamic world, for example, Hamas, before October 7th, one of the things that they had on their list of reasons to slaughter, murder, rape, torture, violate human beings was the progress that was being made on the red heifer. Believe it or not, that's another thing that they are completely terrified of, a red heifer. Believe it or not, that's another thing that they are completely terrified of, a red heifer.